Hello, beautiful souls. Anna Kitney here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I haven't done a Facebook Live on my personal page for quite some time, so I'm excited to be back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Anna Kitney. I'm the founder and director of Burjon, the UK's largest dating school, and also Anna Kitney Coaching and Mentoring in the UK and in the UAE, Dubai. And so today we're going to be talking about how the modern woman does the modern queen does business, family, children, money, success, how she actually is able to achieve all of it. So I know some of you were in the recent Embody Her 4-day Facebook challenge. So I want to say thank you everyone who participated in that training. It was phenomenal. We're obviously now finished and completed. All the prizes have been given away. People have hopped on and enrolled onto the next program. And I'm still feeling the energy and buzzing from all that beautiful content I taught inside that program. So this is a continuation of that conversation really of the woman who desires to have it all and how this is done in modern times. So I'm going to use the term queen as an archetype, but if that word particularly triggers you, then we can substitute it for sovereign, empress, high priestess, goddess. Okay, choose a term that you feel aligned. But for the training today, I'm going to use the term queen as a neutral definition to communicate the archetype of someone who has sovereignty over their life, their destiny, their choices, and can truly create their life from conscious choice rather than from a place of feeling like they're a victim or powerless or helpless. Okay, so I'm going to use the archetype of the queen as our definition for today, but you can substitute for sovereign. Okay, so let's begin. First piece of teaching today. So the first thing is that in the last, I'd say, 20 to 30 years, a lot of the messaging has been out there around creating this life balance, how to create life balance. And it wasn't really a concept that was really talked about or stressed about maybe 30 years ago, but it became a very popular term around about the sort of the 90s, and then about the 90s and onwards. And I really want to tell you that basically this is a huge big lie. There's no such thing as life balance. There is life harmony. So there's universal kind of laws that govern our earth and our existence. And one of those laws is the law of nature. And the law of nature, part of the law of nature is to do with the seasons. And so rather than seeking balance in your life, what you're actually seeking is harmony. So let me give you an example to kind of illustrate this. So when a woman is, let's just say she's 6 months pregnant. She's 6 months pregnant, and maybe she is, winding down at work, reducing her duties, maybe working, part-time from home. The season that she's in is growing the baby, nourishing her body, slowing down so she can prepare her home, her nest for this newborn baby. Okay, she's not in her hustle and grind, building empires, taking over the world, traveling everywhere, right? For most women, their primary focus around that time is the baby. That, yes, career is important. Yes, money is important. Yes, husband's important. All these things are important. But the phase or season of her life is growing this baby. And so for that first year, if she's, at home with a child, she's breastfeeding, okay, on demand. She's at home, with that child, rearing that child and developing that child, teaching that child to eat, to sleep, like natural sleep cycle, to learn to speak, to crawl, to walk, okay? And so this may be the duty of the mother or father to help that child for that first year. That is primarily going to be her focus. The season she is in is not building empires. She's focusing on that newborn baby. Now, that's not to say that she still can't build a business, make money, have financial security. She can definitely still do that. And I'm going to talk about some of the strategies of some of the most successful women in the world that I know and the things that they do that allow them to have this beautiful harmony in their life where they get to have it all without sacrifice of an either or, but they have this beautiful harmony in their life rather than this life balance. So when I was pregnant with my second child, I had discovered Theta healing. I had a business, and I had my second child. The pace that I was working at in my business was not sustainable when I was 6 months, 7 months, 8 months pregnant. It just wasn't sustainable in terms of the physical energy that my body needed to be able to traipse across London to teach those trainings. I just physically, one, I didn't have the physical energy, and two, nor did I want to sacrifice the energy and my well-being of my body to grow a healthy baby, right, at the expense of a business. Okay, because if a woman is operating from stress and worry and an adrenaline, that adrenaline is running through her bloodstream. It goes via her bloodstream into the placenta and into the baby, and that adrenaline is washing over the baby's brain, and it shapes and develops the baby's brain and the personality that that child will grow up to be. Okay, so this is why cultures like, for example, Hawaii, this is like an ancient culture where, you know, if a mother's pregnant, like, you're not permitted to like have arguments around the mother with the baby, because I know that stress that affects the mother affects the baby. So if you want calm, zen children, right, we want to avoid unnecessary drama and conflict and things like that. Okay, so then, you know, I was starting to slow down. I was starting to delegate more to my team. So my business was still making money. I was still having students learn, do courses. I wasn't the one physically out there traveling to London and teaching classes. I had, at that point, I had Vanya teaching classes for me. So classes were being taught, business was making money, I was making money while I was at home with being in my last few months of pregnancy and having the baby. Okay, and so when we're talking about kind of like harmony and balance, once you understand that you are seeking harmony, that you are in a certain season of your life, then you don't need to feel like you're missing out or that you're chasing something, because the chasing energy is founded on a belief around lack and scarcity, not enough. So for a lot of women that I've worked with over the last, gosh, I'd say 15 years, like over 10,000 private clients. When I'm working with, particularly with corporate women, the common fear is they're terrified of stopping work and having a baby for fear of losing their place in the corporate ladder. That somehow they're scared that if they slow down, they stop, they step out, they meet a soulmate, they go off and have a baby, that somehow when they come back 2 years later, 3 years later, they would have lost their spot in the corporate ladder, that somehow they'll have to start again, that somehow they'll lose respect, that somehow their life will be over because they have a child, that somehow life stops because you have a baby, and that it'll be harder for them to go back to work. And so what they do is, on a subconscious level, this is subconscious, they avoid meeting the soulmate in the first place. So the reason some of these ladies are single is not because they don't know how to date, or because they're not attractive, or that they don't have conversation with a man. That somewhere the subconscious is afraid that if I meet the soulmate, I fall in love, then we get married, then we have children, and then my career stops. So here she is trying to get some healing and coaching on getting a soulmate. And the deeper issue is she believes that her life stops the moment the baby's born, that somehow that's going to interfere with her freedom, her career, her personal ambitions, that somehow her life is over. And this is very old programming, very old coding, very, very old. And we're talking like literally thousands and thousands of years old, where somehow that a woman cannot work and have a family at the same time. It's an either or belief. And we live in a modern day age where that's just simply not the case, that you can actually have a business, have a career, make money, and have a family at the same time, with systems, software, technology, team, collaborations, affiliates. There's so many ways to do this now that wasn't available for our great grandmothers, right? But yet we're still running these programs in our DNA from many generations back. So the reason why you may be single is not for the reason you actually think you're single, right? If you're saying, oh, there's no good guys out there, they're all taken, that's not the truth. There are plenty of good guys out there, plenty. But on a subconscious level, that somehow you're scared that having a family will interfere with your career. And so when I had my daughter and I was at home breastfeeding on demand, for the first 3 months, you're just like sleeping, taking care of the baby, feeding the baby, more sleeping, right? Your focus for the first 3 months is just that baby. There's not much room for anything else. And so the season you are in is in motherhood season, right? But if you plan for these things in advance, you can have your team running things for you in your business. You can have software, you can have automation, you can have digital courses, you can have things set up in your business so that you are making money every single month. And so through that experience with my daughter, I knew I needed to change some things. To provide security and stability for myself and for my family, I needed to create a way where I could make money in my sleep, that I could create money without me physically having to work and show up. And so I reverse engineered that. If I already knew and believed I get to make money in my sleep, if I already knew and I believed I get to make money consistently without me physically actually having to work, what would that look like? What would I be doing? How would my business be? And I could reverse engineer the moves in my business so that if I wanted to take a month off, 2 months off, the money keeps coming in, that clients keep getting serviced without me physically being the worker bee in my business. Does it make sense? So I want you to start thinking bigger. Although maybe you're a solopreneur or you're a startup or you're just getting started or you're looking for a career transition, I want you to start thinking like, how would I like it to be? Instead of fearing the worst, how would I like it to be? Okay, so let me give you another example. So my kids now are much bigger. Like my son is 16, almost 17. He's like 6'4". He's absolutely huge. I've got this like big adult lump of a boy in the house. My daughter is 12 going on 16. She's also taller than me, which is very, very scary. I don't know how that happened. And she's eating so much food right now. She's constantly hungry, discovering the world of teenagers. And so my kids, they don't really need mummy all the time. It's not mummy this anymore. It's like they don't want to hang out with me because I'm not cool anymore. There's certain words that mummy's not allowed to use. Right? My daughter says, "Mummy, don't say that. It sounds bad. It sounds cringe, apparently. It's cringe." But that's not a word I'm allowed to use. And so my kids are independent. They arrange their own play dates. They go meet up their friends. They go up the road and hang out. They arrange their sleepovers. It's like they're not needing me the way they needed me when they were little children. Okay? And so I'm at a phase or a stage in my life where my kids are more independent. Okay? Where the season I'm in now is pursuing my own personal missions and goals for my health and well-being, for my relationship with my husband, and for my business, and for my community and my tribe. Does it make sense? So in both those instances, we're not coming from like trying to catch up because we've missed out. We should be further ahead than we are. That somehow we're overcompensating, or that we've lost money, or we've lost opportunity, we've lost time. To let go of all those beliefs and stories around like the lack and limitation that somehow that you've missed out. You had to sacrifice your life for your children, or that you chose not to have children because you believe that you wouldn't be able to have your career. And it's just simply not true, not true. So one of my friends from a very high level mastermind, this woman's doing $100 million in her business. And so I think she's up to child number 6, child number 6. How does a woman build $100 million business while having pretty much babies every couple of years? How does this woman do it? Any clues, guys? Let me know in the chat. How do you think she does it? Support. So for a lot of women, they think they have to do everything themselves. I have to prove I'm a superwoman. I have to like be a sex kit in the bedroom. I have to stay fit and healthy. I have to take care of the kids. I have to build my business, make the money. I have to do all the things. And if I do all the things, then I get to prove that I'm a worthy, deserving, wife, mother, that I'm really good. And so for a lot of women, they feel so much guilt about not being able to do it all. Having it all does not mean you do it all. Let me repeat that. Having it all does not mean you do it all. In fact, you do less. You do less, but better. So the woman that's doing $100 million in her business, I promise you, she's not worried whether she's taken the chicken out of the freezer, or if the kids have been fed, or if there's clean underwear, if the washing's been done. She's not thinking she needs to go to the post office or the dry cleaners or get the groceries. She's not thinking, has that bill been paid, right? She's not thinking like that, Okay, she has allocated certain people in her life to certain tasks so she can focus on the things that are most important to her. So when she's spending time with her kids, this is quality time, that when she's with her kids, she's fully present with her children, fully present, not being with her kids while on her phone doing something else, you know, updating her social media or liaising with her team or on Slack. She's not doing any of that. Someone else on her team is handling all of that logistics of the business. When she's with her kids, that's the time with her kids. And it's quality time. It's prepared time, right? So she may be on the boat with her kids. They might be sailing on the boat. It might be going to her daughter's ballet class or her son's football match, right? All pre-scheduled in her calendar. Her team put that into her calendar so they know that there's no team meetings, there's no phone calls, there's no interruptions, that this is family time and this is a priority, okay? Because she builds her business for her family, for their future, right? So the business fits into her lifestyle because she's got her priorities right, okay? And so when she has the support of somebody taking care of the house, whether it's a house manager, right, that manages, the person that manages the landscaping and the gardening, right? So she's not worried about having the lawns cut and the weeds being de-weeded, right? Okay, somebody to clean the pool, somebody to do the cooking, grocery shopping, right? So food prep. She's still free to make a meal if she wants to. Like if you enjoy cooking, we're not taking that away from you. But if you are a busy entrepreneur, then it makes sense to outsource some of these things, right? So this might be having a personal trainer that knows exactly what exercises you need to get into the kind of shape that you want to get into, instead of trying to find a slot on an app to get to in a certain class that is now full and you can't get to your exercise, okay? This might be the person that takes care of the supplements, orders all the supplements so that she can operate at peak performance, making sure that she's eating well, but she's supplemented well. For her to show up as her very best self, for her to show up as the queen, she's nourishing her body temple with good quality sleep, exercise, good quality food, and supplementation. So someone is taking care of that, whether she's going for her doctor and getting blood tests, whether she's, you know, getting IV. So this is like nutrients infusion into the bloodstream, so bypasses the digestive system, so it's higher absorption. That is a special recipe that's produced specifically for her blood type, specifically for her body's needs, right? So if she's pregnant, her body's going to need different types of nutrients to when she's no longer breastfeeding and she's looking to lean back down again. Does that make sense? So although some of this stuff may think, oh, Anna, but I'm not there yet. I'm not a gazillionaire yet. I can't afford these things. This is not for me. What you're actually saying to the universe is that, oh, no, I don't want to be successful. I don't want to live like a queen. You're saying no. But if you start saying, okay, this is great. I don't have the money for all these things yet. I'm not there yet. However, what's something that I can put into place now as an acceptance of myself as the queen, so I can move into a higher standard of living, so that I can create more success in my life, so that I can have it all without doing it all. And so part of today's homework is I would like to challenge you to an area of your life that you can up level right now. What's an area of your life that you're like, you've been tolerating, you've been dealing with it, it's probably an administrative task that's been taking up your time. Now this might be something as silly as you're selling products and you're putting them into envelopes and you take it to the post office. And if you're doing that multiple times per day, multiple times per week, that's a lot of time you standing in the queue of a post office. Or it might be you going to the grocery store, and this is my personal pet hate, you go to the grocery or the supermarket and they move the stuff on the shelves. Here you are going for the spices and God, it moved it like 3 aisles down. So now the supermarket is stealing your time. Time is one of your most valuable resources. You want to go in, get your stuff and be out. And now you're like walking through the aisles because you can't find the cinnamon because they've moved the spices or they've moved the pasta or the rice. Now they do this because they want you to walk through the aisles to discover something new and buy something else. I get the strategy of why they're doing it. I just don't like it because it takes my time. So I don't do the grocery shopping. Okay? It's not best use of my time. Make sense? So what if you could pre-order your groceries and get that hour back? Every single week, depending on how often you go to the supermarket. What if you get that whole hour back instead of traipsing up the aisles, looking for stuff on shelves? And for those of you who live in the UK, a lot of the shelves are empty. Don't know where the food's going, but it's not going to the UK, right? You're looking for food that's not there, or you're trying to find substitutes, then move the aisles. Instead of wasting that hour at the supermarket, you could be having quality time with your kids. You could be going to the gym and doing a Pilates class or a belly dancing class. You could be going swimming. You could be working on your business. You could be doing something else that is actually moving your life forward instead of these time wasters. You don't need to go to the supermarket to get your groceries. You can order online, or if you prefer like organic, there's like lots of stores that sell like the organic boxes, and they bring you your fresh fish and meat and vegetables hand selected. There's those services available. Others have pre-packaged boxes of ready-made ingredients, fresh ingredients, and all you've got to do is mix it up and cook it. Like, you get to pick what feels aligned for you, right? I'm just giving you some examples to kind of get the ideas flowing for you. So when it comes to you having it all, doesn't mean you do it all. So number one, what can you simply just remove off your list? The stuff that you're doing that is a complete waste of time. This might be things you're doing in your business that you're doing manually that you could be streamlining. Classic example, getting clients booked in. There's no reason for you to be on the phone or playing phone tag to book a client in. Just get Acuity Scheduling or Calendly, set up your calendar, link it to PayPal and Stripe, and people can just see when you're available, book themselves in, pay. You wake up in the morning, you see your calendar of clients, money's in your account, and you just show up for the call because they've already received the Zoom link. Right? Streamline. Instead of that, all that taking manual time and labor, you can just automate. How much time will you get back if you multiply the time that you're spending playing phone tag with people, trying to get somebody booked in, and then they're like, oh, it's taking too long, and they've booked with somebody else, and you've just lost a sale. How much is that costing you? Make sense? So I want you to just kind of let me know in the chat, what are some things that perhaps you are doing right now that you're ready to like get off your list, like cancel, stop doing, waste of your time, or delegate, outsource, streamline, simplify. Because the queen, I promise you, she's not stuck in logistics, administration, menial tasks. Right? All of those things take your time. And as I said, time is your precious resource, your most precious resource. And the queen is very selective with how she spends her time. Very selective. Who she spends her time with, the friendships in her inner circle, right? How she shows up in her business, the activities that she's doing, or in her empire, if you will, in her tribe, her community, right? The way that she's doing her relationship with her soulmate, okay? She's not locked in admin and rushing around and being busy, busy, busy with errands. That's the slave girl archetype. The slave girl is standing at the post office. The slave girl is walking through the aisles of the supermarket. The slave girl is chasing the money, chasing the clients, playing phone tag. The queen doesn't do any of these things. So for a moment right now, just imagine you have this beautiful golden crown with 1,000 gemstones, and you just crown yourself right now. You appoint yourself as the queen of your life. What are you no longer doing? What are you no longer tolerating? What are you no longer available for? This might be gossip and bitching. Might be certain friends in your life that you're like, you know what, I'm so done with this. I'm over it. This might be binge watching 6 hours of something on Netflix when you could be going for a gorgeous dinner with your husband, wife, or lover, or playing a board game with your kids, or doing yoga in your garden, or wild swimming, right? Like, get creative. What would the queen be doing? Right? What would the queen be doing? Be like Cleopatra, bathing in milk. She's bathing in milk and she's being fanned and eating grapes, right? Paint that picture. How is the queen doing life? How is she treating herself? How does she allow the people around her to treat her? What does she no longer tolerate? So gossip might be one of those things, right? And so here we are on Facebook, and you know, I've removed a lot of people from my feed, so I don't get gossip in my feed, right? I'm not interested. I don't need the drama. I'm unavailable for it. Yeah. And so this might be letting go of certain people in your life, certain behaviors and situations, and certain things you've been doing that you just do on autopilot because you think you have to do to be a good wife, a good mother, a good friend. You've just been doing this thing, but it's stealing your time. And time is your most precious resource. Okay. And so earlier I was talking about you're not seeking life balance, you're seeking life harmony. And I started talking about the seasons, right? The season you're in, the season you're in. And so there are times in your life, the season you're in is in your hustle, right? So if you are doing a marketing campaign and you're in launch, the season you're in is you got your hustle on. You're going to be very busy. So you're going to be working very hard, some long hours, your team is galvanized, lots of activity. You're not going to do life for an entire year that way because it's not sustainable. But during a launch campaign, for example, you have your hustle on, you're having team meetings, you're taking lots of action, things are being pre-scheduled, you've got your soul fire going, you're in movement, you're in action, you're building momentum, you're making sales, you're making money, you're empowering lives. That's the season you're in. And so for the women that I've known who are incredibly successful, who do $1 million launches and beyond, they're not running their life 24/7 all year round like that. They do the 12-week sprint. 12-week sprint, 12 weeks, and that's their like lead run, if you will, for their launches. And I'm not saying yours has to be 12 weeks. You could do 4 weeks, you could do 3 weeks, you could do 1 week. It's your choice, your business. So these women like this 12-week sprint, 12 weeks of marketing, sales, activity, launch, sell, cut, closed. Then what they do? The team starts to onboard everybody and they go on a holiday for a week, 2 weeks. While the team are taking care of things, getting everybody onboarded, they get back from their 2-week holiday all refreshed and they start delivering the trainings. They're calm, they're relaxed, they're recharged. They've had a massage, they've had some mocktails, they've spent time with their kids, they've had downtime, they've done their journaling, their meditation, they've exercised, they've supplemented, they've honored their body temple, they've honored their family, and they're ready to serve. They're ready to deliver to their community. Makes sense? However, in mainstream society, we glorify the hustle and grind. You have to work hard to make money. You have to work hard to succeed, right? Now, if working hard made you rich, then like nurses would be millionaires, and they're not, right? If working hard was the path to success, there'd be so many people right now that would be multi-millionaires instead of broke, doing 2 jobs and struggling. So working harder is not the path to success. It's doing less but better. Less but better. So under this law of like harmony, the harmony is where you are very strategic about the moves you're making. The queen is not in chaos and overwhelm, doing 100 million things at once. In fact, that's the detriment. She's more than likely focused on 1, 2, or 3 things at a time. And in each season, she's focusing on a different area. Yeah? So if you have like a CEO in your business, you know your CEO is going to work through the different departments of your business, most likely every month or every quarter. So quarter 1, he's looking at operations. Quarter 2, he's looking at finances. Quarter 3, he's looking at marketing. Quarter 4, he's looking at like sales, team, and he works his way around during that 12-month period. He's working through the harmony of the business as a CEO to ensure that this is a well-oiled machine. That's the role of CEO in a corporation. That's his task. He's not the worker bee. That's not his task. He's in this position of king, overseeing everything in each department so that there's harmony inside the empire, if you will, right? Business, empire. Okay, just swapping out terms. Okay, makes sense? So what season are you in right now? Are you in the season where you are looking to ramp things up, looking to ramp up your positioning in the marketplace? Are you putting out offers, marketing, selling, getting your hustle on? Are you in the season where you're starting to wind down? I know for some people, August is their rest time. They're like the goddess body temple time, right? Spend time with your family, children, right? And maybe you're building out things behind the scenes in your business, maybe automated email sequences, offers that are digital courses that can be sold behind the scenes, right? It may be pausing some of your clients for the month if they're having a break as well. And you're putting in some automation, like automated email sequences behind the scenes, so you can take a month off while your business continues to run. And maybe you've got a virtual assistant and maybe a social media manager that's running things for you while you have a month off with your family. What season are you in right now? And can you view that part of your life without the filter of, I'm missing out, I'll lose money, I'm not doing it all, I should be working harder, I'm not allowed to rest, I haven't earned the right to rest, but what if the money stops? Can you allow yourself to have that downtime without those fears? And this is all the inner work, guys. This is the inner work you need to do. Because when you collapse those beliefs and programs that you always have to be in the hustle and grind, then you will make marriage this way. You'll make raising children this way. You'll make business, marketing, sales, everything. You will view everything through that filter, because how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And so when we unplug, detach from the mainstream paradigm of having to hustle and grind 24/7, that somehow we are deifying the heroes through the struggle and the battle. Look, I've overcome this, blood, sweat, and tears. What a great woman you are. When we let go of that and stop shaming other women for that, where they get to make money easy, they get to make money while they sleep, they get to make passive revenue, they get to have it all without having to do it all, then instead of tearing each other down, we observe, we pay attention, and we honor. We honor another way in which women can do life and have it all without doing it all. She's no less worthy if she doesn't do every part of the aspect of her business. If she's not the one cleaning her house and cooking the dinners, is she any less of a woman? Is she any less of a mother? Of course not. It's personal preference. It's choice. And ultimately, how do you want to spend your time? Because time is your most precious resource. So that's number one, is you're not seeking life balance, you're seeking harmony. What season are you in? And let go of the programs of chasing, feeling like you're going to miss out, that you're going to miss your spot in the corporate ladder, and you get to have it all, and you get to have it all through support. Who can support you? This might be the guy that delivers your groceries, right? It might be the other parent at the school who takes your daughter for a few hours so you can work on your business or get to the gym or have an actual sleep and a rest because you're exhausted. This might be the support with weekly house cleaning, for example. Someone that puts a load of washing on for you, tidies the house, irons some things for you, so you get at least 6 hours of your week back. And you can spend that 6 hours doing something of a higher value than a housekeeping duty, right? Because I promise you, at the end, on your deathbed, you're not going to wish you had spent more time cleaning the house, doing the dishes, loading and unloading the dishes, ironing the clothing. You're not going to wish you had spent more time. You're like, I wish I had not worried about those things and spent more time with my kids when they were still at home with me. You're not going to wish you had spent more time at the office working and grinding away. You're going to wish that you'd stopped worrying about money for most of your life, that you just relaxed because you knew deep down that God has your back, that you were going to be okay, and that you could be supported in creating great wealth, that you didn't have to do it all yourself. If you look at the most successful people in the world, they are not building empires by themselves. These women I mentioned who are doing 100 million in their business, they're not doing everything themselves. They're not the worker bee in their business. They're business owners. They may step in as the star of the show, if you will, show up, deliver a call, deliver a training, and the team take care of the rest. They operate more from their zone of genius than working for the sake to prove that they're worthy and good enough and to feel like I've worked, so therefore I earn the money. But detach from working hard, earning the money to I just get to receive no matter what. Okay, so how are we doing, guys? Is this useful? Yeah, Natalie's saying, and a personal driver. I love driving, but I get super productive when someone drives me to work in the car. Yeah, me too, Natty. Exactly. Exactly. I can drive. I don't enjoy driving personally. So my husband does a lot of the driving. But if I'm traveling up to London, yeah, I'm doing a taxi. Like I can be doing other things. I can be listening to a guided meditation. I can be on the call to somebody. I can be just relaxing and just chilling. And I can also be productive and like plan a whole new program or a course inside the taxi. So yeah, it's how you want to use your time. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I love that. Natty says, I'm going to hire a housekeeper and do everything on the house. Yes, you literally will get about 4 to 6 hours back. 4 to 6 hours. If they do a load of washing, load and unload the dishwasher, clean the house, minimum of like 6 hours of your week back. Add that 6 weeks over a month, over 12 months, over 10 years. This is how the greats are able to achieve what they do. They have the same amount of time we do. The most successful people in the world, they have the same 24 hours we do. And they're not going to the supermarket. They're not going to the post office. They're not going to the dry cleaners. Somebody does that for them. They're not the worker bees. Yeah? They're the queens and kings in their lives. Does that make sense? This is why you want the support. And I'm just going to add to this. Most people, they wait. Like, well, Anna, I'm not rich. I haven't got the money for this. I can't afford it. So what's happening there? You are manifesting that you don't have money. You are manifesting that you don't want the support. But if you start saying, well, how can I do this? How could I have this? Then the universe starts to show you all the ways and ideas in which you can have it. And when it comes to like hiring support, here's the manifesting hack here. You decide you're going to hire the housekeeper. You hire the housekeeper and then the money shows up. That's the way manifestation works. It's not the other way around. It's like, well, I'll hire the person when I get the money. No, you hire the person and the money shows up. That's how manifesting works. Yeah, because a housekeeper, if they're doing cleaning for you and you get your 6 hours back, in those 6 hours, how much money could you make? If you think about your hourly rate as a healer and a coach, what's that? If you work out what your hourly rate is, if you're in 100 an hour, that's $600 that you'll make. And that cleaner might be $25. What's your return on investment, your ROI? Some of you on even more than that. Let's just say you're on $500. What's 500 times 6? $3,000. So if you clean your house and you're on $500 an hour, if that's your charge out rate, let's just say by the hour that's what you are, but you sell a package, that's $3,000. That's a very expensive house clean. Very expensive. And do you want to be like cleaning your house, doing the ironing, folding, washing? Or do you want to be doing your healing and coaching, empowering lives, delivering trainings instead? Your choice. Your choice. Or do you want to be spending time with your kids, quality time? Or time with your husband or lover? Doing something amazing for a beautiful day out. 6 hours of just you and him. Quality time without the kids, without worrying about work, without worrying about the house. Everything's taken care of. And you come home at the end of the day to a clean and tidy, organized house. I want you to start thinking like a queen. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So next piece. Healing guilt and shame, letting that go to expand your capacity to receive. So this is on the map of consciousness. There's a book called Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins. I refer to this many times in a lot of my trainings. I love this book. And he talks about the frequencies of vibration. So like shame vibrates very, very low. I think it's like 47 or 67 as a measurement. Love is like 500. I think bliss is 600. Enlightenment's 1,000. And then like creative, all that is, universal consciousness is something like 50,000. It's like huge, huge. So if you're vibrating in shame and guilt, feeling like I'm not doing enough, I'm not working hard enough, I'm such a bad mother, I'm neglecting when I'm at work, I'm neglecting my kids. And if you're with your kids, you're thinking about work. And when you're at work, you're thinking about kids. And so you're in guilt and shame. And then you're allowing other people to shame you, right? You're allowing people around you to shame you. making you feel like you're not doing enough. This might be your mother or your mother-in-law, right? But typically it's you doing it to yourself, the inner self-talk. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not working hard enough. I'm not as good as she is. I'm not making as much money as she is. How come she gets it and I haven't got it? It's not fair. And it's this shame and this guilt and this very low energy. So as far as manifesting goes, what are you attracting at that frequency? More of the same. How can you manifest more in your life when you're vibrating at a frequency of less? You can't. It's impossible. So here you are trying to manifest a soulmate, manifest more clients, manifest an improvement in your marriage, but your focus, your energy is in shame, guilt, resentment. You can't. You're the opposite of that. You're not a vibrational match. You're not in energetic alignment. You can do digging, healing till the cows come home, but if that's the vibe you're offering to the universe, then that's what the universe is going to give you. What you put out comes back to you. The outside world is a mirror of your inner world. So right now, if you've got no clients, it's not the economy's fault or the government's fault. It's your responsibility. You need to shift your energy. You can't be vibrating at this frequency and expect clients. In fact, a lot of healers, in my experience, have like negative beliefs about clients. Oh, that clients are stupid, clients are broke, they want free stuff, they don't listen, they don't do the work, they don't want to heal. If that's your belief about clients, no wonder you're repelling people, if that's your beliefs about clients. So it's about flipping that story about clients. What kind of humans do you want to be serving? As the queen of your life, what are the people that deserve your time? Right? Clients who can afford to pay, who will pay. Clients who want to heal and will heal. Clients who respect you and respect the work. Awakened masters. Like, you get to choose. As the queen of your life, you get to choose who you spend your time with. Whether it's free or paid, you get to choose. Why would you take on difficult clients? Why make it difficult for yourself? So when we start to collapse our beliefs about what we believe about clients, then the outside world will reflect the inner world. Does that make sense? But if you've got negative beliefs about clients, how are you expecting to get clients? Make sense? Yeah? And so right now, guys, can you be available to like put down the beating stick and stop punishing yourself? Stop punishing for any way that you feel like you're not doing enough, that you're not enough, that you're not worthy enough, good enough. Like, just let that go. Like, I know many of you are healers and you've been doing work on this for a long time and it's still not shifting, keeps coming back. And at some point, you're so done with that story of I'm not enough. And that mean girl, that negative self-talk about how you look, what you say, how successful, unsuccessful you are, not feeling enough in your career, not feeling enough for a soulmate, not enough. At some point, it's like, you know what, and I'm done, and I'm done. And so you just opt out. You opt out of that story. Because every time you focus on it, every time you dig on it, every time you heal on it, I promise you can dig for 1,000 years on why you haven't got the soulmate, and you'll find 1,000,001 reasons for why you haven't got the soulmate. You can dig for 100 years on all your money blocks and why you haven't got the money, and you'll find 1,000,001 reasons for why you haven't got the money. What you focus upon grows. What you focus upon grows. If you keep looking for the reasons why you haven't got it, the universe will show you more reasons for why you haven't got it. This is why it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The better question to ask, actually, and we have this digging technique in Theta Healing, it's called the manifesting digging technique. It's my favorite. It really, it works really well with coaching as well, because instead of focusing on the problem, you're focusing on the solution. So you ask yourself, why would I not want the soulmate? Why would I be scared to have my divine life partner, have this amazing life and amazing sex and amazing family? Oh no, I can't have a family because if I have that, then I won't be able to do my business. That's your limiting belief. So the reason why maybe you're single is not because you're not beautiful or worthy or sexy or that you don't know how to talk to a man. It's actually you're afraid of what will happen after. That's such a powerful digging process. Why would you not want the money? Well, that if you become a multi-millionaire, More money, more problems. People will be after my money. They won't really be my friend. They'll just be my friend for my money. They'll just be asking me for money all the time. And what else could go wrong? Well, if I'm really, really rich, then I'll have to pay more taxes. And if I'm really, really rich, then people will steal money from me. My employees will get, jealous that I'm making so much money, and they'll leave me, and they'll steal my stuff and steal my clients. Can you see now why you're not manifesting the millions? Because you're not afraid of actually making the millions. You're afraid of what will happen after you make the millions. Clear that. Clear that BS, because it's not true unless you believe that it is. If you believe that when you have more money will be more problems, that's what you'll manifest. If you believe that it's lonely at the top, it will be. In my experience, I've got the most amazing friends. As I up-leveled my life and my business, the humans that are my friends now are phenomenal. The conversations, they're not seeking to get. They serve, they give. It's a beautiful thing. There's some amazing people at the top. And once you get to the top, you're shown how to go higher and higher and higher, because the queen is always seeking to rise to greater levels of who she can be, who can she become, because there's no limit. There's no limit. And so I want to ask you, what are you getting by holding on to the smallness of you, holding on to the shame and the guilt, punishing yourself for not feeling enough? What does that give you? Because it's not getting you the soulmate, it's not getting you success, money, the promotion, not helping you lose weight, not helping you achieve what you want to achieve. All it's doing you is keeping you at this lower frequency where you are not a vibrational match to your desires. What does this give you by sitting here, apart from grief? Somewhere there's a kickback for staying here instead of elevating yourself to the sovereign. Yeah? And so the moment you let go of the shaming and guilting yourself and obligating other people to shame and guilt you, and you elevate your energy to the sovereign and say, okay, and I'm done. You draw a line in the sand, no digging is required, no hitting is required. Yep, and I'm finished. I'm done. I'm done with the pity party. I'm done playing small. I'm done allowing people to take advantage of me. I'm done with gossip. I'm done with binge watching Netflix for 7 hours when I could be doing something more fulfilling. I'm done with all these toxic people, toxic behaviors. And this is who I'm choosing to show up as. And you elevate your frequency. Now you have new standards for yourself. Now you're attracting different people. Now you're attracting clients out of nowhere. They just find you and they enroll. You wake up to money. Now it's like, you've bumped into a man and you go on a date. He could be the one. Right? Magical things like that occur effortlessly when you're operating from the frequency of the sovereign. Being the queen of your life, because no one is going to appoint you. No one. Your friend's not going to do it. Your boss is not going to do it. Your mother is not going to do it. You have to appoint yourself as the sovereign of your life. And the moment you do that, everything begins to change. You start operating as this next level version of you, operating as the goddess, the high priestess, the empress, the queen. Choose a term that feels aligned for you. Right? My healing people, goddess seems to be the word for you guys. Goddess vibes, yeah, goddess. It's not one I personally identify with, but a lot of my healers really like the term goddess or high priestess. Use that. How does the goddess do business? How does the goddess do soulmates? How does the goddess do self-care? How does the goddess do sleep? How does the goddess do supplementation? How does the goddess do life? Through that filter. Then I promise you, you'll be a vibrational match for everything that matches that frequency on the goddess realm. And life will become beautiful. Instead of the slave girl, Cinderella, with cinders in her hair, who keeps shaming herself and punishing herself, who's in her victim story. I'm not enough. No one loves me. No one's buying. There are no clients. Poor me. I've been digging on this for years. It still hasn't cleared. Did you feel the drop? It's gone really heavy again, hasn't it? Let's elevate back to our sovereign. Put your crown on. Elevate. The goddess, high priestess, empress, the queen. Do you feel the energy shift? Now your heart's more open. Your energy feels lighter. It's scary but exciting. And yes, your mind's going, how, but how, but how, but how? Your sovereign will show you. She will guide you every step of the way. She'll tell you what's next. And then you make the move. And the queen is not scrambling, busy, busy, busy doing small things. She's not chasing small money, small offers, small deals. She's not making herself small. She's making strategic moves. The 1, 2, or 3 things. And she makes the move. Like a domino. The one thing that topples over everything else. Effortless, aligned, beautiful, magical. Because she understands the power of the unseen. The power of the universal laws. Beyond just the law of attraction. There are other laws, guys. There's more than 12 laws that govern this. Law of least effort. Love that one. Or law of least resistance. Right? The grass doesn't strain to grow, it just grows. The birds don't struggle to fly, they just fly. The water's not struggling to go downstream, it just flows downstream. So why are humans locked in their struggles? Why do we feel we have to struggle at everything? Struggle to get the soulmate, struggle to get the client, struggle, because we've deified it. That there's honor in the struggle. What if it was never required? What if you allowed it to be easy and effortless? What if you allowed yourself to be supported? What if you could delegate to team and people? Allow software to work for you, modern technology, a food delivery service. Why resist what is available for you right now? The moment you choose it, the universe rearranges itself and you receive. You just have to choose. For most of you are waiting till you get the money before you make the choice. The truth is you make the choice and the money shows up. I can't even begin to tell you how many times that has happened to me. Like big money, not just a couple $100. I'm talking like tens and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Showed up exactly when I needed it because I made the choice. It was scary as hell because I didn't have the money, but I said yes. And voila, the money showed up. When I surrendered to the higher power, surrendered, it was shown to me the move I needed to make for the money to be manifested in the most beautiful way. Because I decided it gets to be easy. I decided that struggle was not required. I was not locked in having to struggle in order to be worthy and deserving to receive. We detangle struggle from receiving. The moment you do this, you expand your capacity to receive. Because if you're wanting more money and you have a belief that you only get it through struggle and hardship and long hours, then you will sabotage making more money. Because why would you want to work twice as hard as what you're working? But if you collapse that, decode that struggle equals worthiness and deservingness, struggles equals receiving, collapse that code, then you're free to receive unlimited abundance. Unlimited. Because the struggle is not required. I'm not saying no work is required. Some effort will be required. But you're not doing it through the filter of the slave girl archetype. You're doing it through the sovereign. Where it's aligned, strategic, effortless, expansive, supported. Very different energy and very different moves. When you put your crown on and you're the frequency of the sovereign, the ideas you'll be receiving at a different frequency altogether. That's how you expand your capacity to receive more clients, more money, more love, more fun, more of everything. To have it all, to expand that frequency of receiving, you've got to let go of the shame, let go of the guilt, that self-punishment, let go of the coding of struggle and hardship, and grinding away at everything that you do. Some work will be required. The struggle was never required. Okay. And so the navigation of having it all, this navigation of the frequency of what it feels like to have it all. So I mentioned earlier about it's not an either or, it's both. I get to have it all. And I'm just giving you just some ideas, just a few ideas of things that you can do right now to have it all. In fact, part of today's homework or action step for today's training is something you're going to up level. up-leveling your life, whether it's up-leveling the quality of your supplementation, up-leveling your sportswear to go to the gym, might be up-leveling the quality of your food, it might be up-leveling team, it might be time to hire your first virtual assistant, knowing that that person, if they're like $12 an hour, you're going to be making your hourly rate by the hour, so it will far outweigh the money that they cost you. So it might be the virtual assistant, right? What can you up level in your life right now that's going to move you towards the acceptance of the queen, the sovereign? Yeah. And this may be 1, 2, or 3 things that you do. Okay. What's going to move you towards accepting yourself as the sovereign, the leader? Right? If it's a soulmate, what can you action that's going to make you more magnetic so he finds you? Right? You having to find your soulmate. What if he finds you? It's a very different energy. There's a soulmate for you. Trust there's a soulmate for you. In fact, there's more than one. Yeah, but you want to definitely clear your beliefs to actually, like, what happens after you meet him. Then what? Then what? Then what? Why would you not want the soulmate? Yeah. Okay, my beautiful souls. So I've shared quite a few ideas and suggestions and things you can start working on in terms of decoding. So I obviously want to invite you to, there's a couple of options for you moving forward. One is, for those of you who are Theta healers, I have a course specifically for soulmates. Now this is the one where people get confused. It's called You and Your Significant Other. So people think, oh, it's only for people who are in a relationship. No, I love this class for the singles. Because it's not, the problem is not attracting the soulmate. The problem is your fears around what happens next. Fears of that he won't be committed, that he'll cheat. Fears that you'll fight over money, that somehow he'll have to take care of you or finds out how much debt you have, or that you'll be taking care of him. Fears that once you get into a relationship and you're married, he starts controlling you, that you lose your freedom, that he'll make you stay at home. Fears that, okay, when you have the children, that your life is over, that your life must be just purely devoted to your husband and the kids. I could go on. These are just some examples. So the reason why, for those of you who are Theta healers, why this is such an important class is that you being single may not be for the reason you think it is. And this class is incredibly comprehensive to dive much deeper than you've ever done before on this topic of soulmates, where you're unpacking the dynamic of how you do a relationship. I've been married for over 20 years. I've been with my husband for 25 years. I met him when I was 23. I'm 47. And I've learned so much in that time about relationships, marriage, intimacy, how you navigate being married with children and how that changes your relationship, how to get back to love, how to get back to passion. Many, many times I can honestly say the Theta healing You and Your Significant Other has saved my marriage more than once. More than once. I go back to the curriculum, I go back to the work, and I unpick, okay, where is my resistance? Where are my blocks that's stopping me from having a harmonious relationship with my life partner? Yeah, so this is an excellent class. So the link is in the this post, so you can go check that out if you're a Theta healer, and there are prerequisites for this class. So that's number one. That's an excellent class, and it's this weekend. You get certified. It's 2 days with me on Zoom. It's 12 to 8 p.m. London time, and all the details are on the website. That's number one. For those of you who are obviously not certified as Theta healers, the next other option, which is also a phenomenal program, which is my shePOWER Mastermind. I know some of you were in the Embody Her training recently. This is a follow-on from that, where we go much deeper into a woman and her power. This is all the beliefs around boundaries, how to have healthy boundaries so you're respected, how you can feel equal in any room. This is around activating your frequency and skills of how to be a leader to lead others. So if you're a teacher, a boss, and you have to lead teams, if you want to galvanize your community, your followers, to go into your programs for your great mission and impact on this earth, then leadership is an important skill. Underneath that, you've got cultivating personal power, courage, learning how to be influential and persuasive. This is not about manipulation. This is about how you can motivate allow people to be self-motivated to, one, change the way that they think and also their behavior, so that you're not having to carry people. You don't want to be in mother archetype, taking care of people, carrying people, saving people, right? It's not the healthiest dynamic for when you're leading groups of people or when you step into positions of leadership. The mother archetype is not the best energy or frequency to be in. However, the sovereign is. When you're accessing the queen archetype or the high priestess, the goddess, right? And you're using your power of influence and persuasion to galvanize your empire, to get them into movement, to buy into an idea, you can shift the consciousness of the planet. We're talking about global impact here. So if you are here on this live and you have a calling towards greatness, that you know you're here for something greater than yourself, and maybe you've been battling with the mean girl who's telling you who you think you are, you're not enough, you tried once, you tried twice, it still didn't work, you failed, right? Better to stick to your day job, better stay small, better stay. If you've been battling with that, then shePOWER is the place to be, to start to collapse that code of the slave girl archetype, the maiden who's waiting for a man to rescue her, because the man is not the plan, ladies. The man will walk with you as your king. You do life together. He's not there to rescue you and buy you a castle and, you know, take care of all your credit card debt, and he's not responsible for your happiness. That's not what the soulmate's for. The soulmate is your ally to do life with, to do life together. Doesn't mean he has to be in your business, but you rule the kingdom together. You do life together. Okay, so shePOWER is about leadership, magnetism, how to become more magnetic. As I mentioned, boundaries, personal power, and it's an opportunity for you to gather with other queens from the same mission and goal as you, to create impact around the world, to learn how to use their voice, to eloquently communicate their message, to show up in their communities so they can be role models for the next generation of women, their daughters, right? This is what we're talking about. This is a very exciting time as women are stepping up, not to compete with men, but to walk through life alongside men. So we've gone through the patriarchy, we've gone through the matriarchy through time and history, and now all we're seeking is this beautiful harmony of how it's not balance, it's harmony. How do we do life with men in our lives, where we allow a man to be in his sacred masculine, allow a woman to be in her sacred feminine. And the sacred feminine is not the damsel in distress, okay? She doesn't need rescuing, she doesn't need saving. An aspect of the sacred feminine is the lioness, like the mother who's protective over her cubs. That's not a yin weak energy, it's a powerful energy, right? A woman's intuition, ladies, this is our superpower. Typically women have more access to their intuition. And that's just simply because of mainstream upbringing, right? Like boys are told, don't cry, don't be a sissy. And so their emotional intelligence gets shut down at a very young age. A lot of men are working on themselves to kind of get that back, to like not just use their gut and their head, but to actually access their heart again. So not only can they develop their emotional intelligence to actually allow a woman to love them, but also to function more effectively in the workplace. They're not just making decisions from just the analytical part of their mind, but to actually feel from their heart and make heart-led decisions, which will be a huge game changer across the planet. So this beautiful time in history right now is an opportunity for you to walk with your king, do life together in this beautiful harmony, sacred masculine, sacred feminine, doing this beautiful dance together. And then we can achieve amazing things on the planet. We're not seeking to frighten men, intimidate men with our power. That's not what we're seeking to do. shePOWER is walking alongside. You're not leading him, he's not leading you. You do life together alongside each other, right? In this beautiful, beautiful dance, this beautiful walk through life. A woman, when she is supported by her man, is unstoppable. Unstoppable when she knows that her man has got her back. He doesn't have to understand her business model, her modality. He doesn't have to understand it. It's not required for him to support you. Just his support. And whether that's helping you take care of the kids, helping with finances, helping with a component of your business, or whether just to be a loving embrace at the end of the day. Right? There's so many ways to be supported by your man. so many ways. But if you can really feel and allow your husband to have your back, or your lover, your companion to have your back, you're unstoppable, unstoppable. But if you feel like you're doing life on your own, that it's all on your shoulders, success is going to feel like a burden, and you will not enjoy that journey, especially if you believe you have to do it by yourself. It's time to let this go, ladies. Like, if you are done, you want to draw the line in the sand, then come join me in shePOWER. This is going to be a phenomenal mastermind. Phenomenal. So we start next week. It's 12 weeks, live calls. You get all the replays. And with our masterminds, once you're in for life. Every live round I do, you get to join again and again for no extra cost. Once you're in my world, in a program, you're in for life. Yeah. And the teachings become better and better every year. Every year I deepen the teachings. I deepen my knowledge. As I'm achieving great levels of mastery and embodiment, I pass that on to my community. Yeah. So I trust that you can navigate yourself into the right place you need to be in. These are the two things that I really feel really serve you right now. This is what I'm feeling into my community, that my community needs right now, of really accessing a woman and her power and her sovereignty. So once you can understand truly, what is her resistance to actually calling in the one, the man that's going to walk through life with her, or the soulmate, he, she, they, whether it's you wanting to understand how to appoint yourself as a leader so that you can be more influential, persuasive, to galvanize your audience, your people, to create a movement, to change the landscape of business, of life, of the way that humans do life, to change consciousness. This is what this program is about. Thank you so much. I enjoyed today's training. I hope you did too. Your energy, like I felt the presence of your energy on this live today, and as I felt into everyone listening, I hope you got exactly what you needed today. That I hope it landed for you. So come join me inside these programs. There's Theta Healing, you and your significant other, and shePOWER. Thank you so much, everyone, and good night.